Hello everybody, Zealous Talon here, and today I'm kind of switching things up. I'm going to start reviewing some of the Power Ranger Samurai roleplay toys. I usually don't really get into stuff like this, but I picked up the Mega Blade back last year, and I decided to get some of the other stuff this year, and finally decided to kind of start reviewing it and putting my 2 cents out there on some of this stuff and kind of the why I picked some of these up and why I don't generally pick up roleplay toys. So, oh, sorry about that. Anyway, so our first entry here is the Spin Sword 2012 version, which has sounds. The original 2011 version did not. It was released at a cheaper price point in a different packaging, and all it did was have the reflective spin animation gimmick. It featured no sounds. This one, basically everything, all the functions from the original toy were kept, and then they just added sounds to it. It's not like the Samuraiser where they improved everything but the sound effects. They took out the morph sound in that. The second version of the Samuraiser would have been actually not that bad had they just kept the morph noise. But no, now that has to be a piece of crap too, because what's a morpher without a morph noise? I digress. Anyway, so what we've got here, what you get in your box is the Spin Sword, which when you get it, it's in 2 pieces. I guess technically 3, because you have the base here, and then the PVC section of this blade is separate to allow it to fit in the smaller box. So what you do is you just take both these pieces, put them together, and then this pin will come off of a sprue, plug in. On the other side you can see it's one of those ones that pushes in and then pops out, so once it's on, it's on. There's your completed Spin Sword. What I like about the long, narrow blade is that even though it's a very short weapon, proportionally it looks like a katana. I think to a child, in a child's hands, it would still look more like a wakizashi proportionally, but the proportions are there for it to look like a sword. The original Shinkenmaru looked like a really chunky knife, really, more than anything. And this is just so much. The Spin Sword is just so much more elegant and narrow and just better proportion. I think it makes a better display piece, and it's one of those occasions where Bandai America, it doesn't happen that often, but sometimes they outdo Plex. Bandai, the maker of the Sentai toys. Sometimes we get it right over here, and other times we don't, as we'll see later. But what you also get in the set is these 2 pieces, which, again, once these are together, they do not come apart. But what this is a belt clip for storing the sword. So this part will simply slot onto the belt, and then the sword will drop in through here, and you can hang it off your belt. Kind of cool. And then finally you get the Lion Disc. Now, if you are to get the Red Ranger training gear set, this will be molded in red instead of black, even though you get the same decal. And it should be molded in red. Why they chose black for this, I do not know, but it doesn't bother me too much. The label with the sticker and the animation, that's the important part, is this sticker. As long as that's true, that's what counts. In addition to that, I mean, you get this, basically everything you see here with that set, plus you get like a mask that makes you look like the Red Ranger, and then like there's a belt buckle that can hold 2 discs, and then you get 2 discs beyond this, which is the Tiger disc, and I think it's called the Attack disc. It's that generic black disc that all of the Shinkengers / Samurai Rangers had. So like I said, I really do like this. My only complaint with it, in a physical sense of, just like the physical nature of the toy, my only complaint is that this is very soft. This is a very soft and very long section of PVC. you have to be really careful with this toy if you're wanting to display it and keep it looking good. I understand why it's soft, obviously, because this is a child's toy that resembles a sword. They're not supposed to hit each other, but you know they're gonna. So we might as well make it soft so they don't hurt each other. But from a collector's standpoint, if any weight comes onto this sword, or if it leans, like if you have it like this and it starts leaning that way, or if you just have it like this and it starts to sag under its own weight, this will bend very easily and stay bent very easily. So you have to be very careful to keep this straight. Getting on to the gimmicks of this toy, we have, I like how they painted the button, even though that's not a button anymore. And there's no LED here like there was on the Shinkenmaru, but that was really just a completely pointless light that really just didn't add anything. It was just a confirmation that you were indeed hearing sounds already. So it was just like, hey, you did something, even though you could hear, hey, you did something. So, anyway, so what you do is you slide up the disc up the handle, and it'll clip just below the blade and act as a blade guard, or tsuba, as it is known in Japan. The discs are intended to be spun clockwise. As you can see, as the disc spins, each segment of the praxinoscope will reflect a frame of the animation on the disc, which in this case is the line running. Different discs have different animations. So, problem I'm having just with this lighting is I wish I had some kind of surface that I could just block this glare that keeps popping up every time I rotate this thing. I'm trying to find where the frack it's coming from. But as you spin it, you get animation. Spin it faster and it looks more cohesive. Nice touch. Speakers right here. There's 3 slots for the speaker. This is a rather loud toy as far as the noises go, so just bear with me and turn down your volume if you like. Turning it on gets you the first sound of 4. And then each time, and then as this spins, there's some raised bumps on top of here that are going to hit a little switch button up inside of there. So each time that gets bumped, it'll activate a noise, and it cycles through 3. First one. Second. And that was the third. So you get 3 different noises. At first I thought this was random, but it does cycle through the 3 noises in that order. It's just that as you spin this, if you're spinning it really hard willy-nilly, it triggers a new sound to activate every time that switch gets bumped. So it's not going to stop triggering noises until it comes to rest and finishes out the most recent noise that it hit, which makes it seem like it's randomizing. And you can even hear, like, the first sound will trigger and start going through, but then it'll start kind of spazzing out until it comes down to what the last decision was. So, I enjoy it, and I'm going to turn it off before more mayhem happens. I do like this more than I initially thought I would, and a big part of that is the fact that it interacts with other role-play toys in the series, you know, the black box and the Bullzooka. You know, it adds to the Bullzooka, and the black box exists really for no other purpose other than to add to that and the Mega Blade. As far as getting it, I think 15 is a little bit much for what it does. I do kind of recommend it if you can find it discounted or at clearance, or if your kid is wanting this, I would really recommend going for the Red Ranger training gear set if the extra $10 doesn't break the bank, and they'll have a lot more fun with that than just because you're getting all of this plus some more. I think it's great for kids. Collectors, it's a nice display piece. So overall recommended, but only if you really like it. This has been Zealous Talon with the 2012 Spin Sword with Sounds. Take it easy.